She moves through the crowded room with an almost unnatural grace, not seeking attention, yet commanding it effortlessly. There's a magnetic quality to her presence that draws people in, particularly men, who find themselves orbiting her like planets around a star. When she turns her gaze toward you, it feels like being singled out from the crowd, chosen for something special. Her smile is perfectly timed. Her laughter seems to resonate at just the right frequency, and within moments of conversation, she's created a bubble of intimacy that makes you feel like the only two people in the world. But beneath this polished exterior lies something more calculated. The way she navigates social situations feels too precise, too practiced. She reads micro-expressions with clinical accuracy, adjusts her conversational approach based on your responses, and steers dialogue toward emotional depths without ever losing her footing. It's impressive, until you realize you're not witnessing genuine connection, but rather the well-honed skills of someone who has performed this dance many times before. Most men misinterpret this social expertise as rare chemistry or emotional intelligence. They believe they've stumbled upon someone uniquely attuned to their wavelength. In reality, they're experiencing the effects of extensive practice, the emotional equivalent of muscle memory developed through repeated romantic encounters. The comfort she displays with intimacy isn't born of confidence, but of familiarity. The ease with which she shares personal details doesn't indicate trust, but rather the erosion of boundaries that occurs when private matters become routine topics of discussion. Today, I want to help you recognize the subtle behavioral patterns that indicate extensive romantic experience. This isn't about judgment or criticism, it's about awareness. Understanding these signs can protect you from investing years of emotional energy into relationships that follow predictable, often painful patterns. What feels like extraordinary connection might actually be ordinary repetition. What seems like deep understanding might simply be well-practiced performance. The first and most telling sign is the absence of natural emotional pacing. Healthy emotional connection develops through gradual revelation and mutual vulnerability. There's a natural rhythm to building trust, a dance of sharing and listening, of revealing and protecting. When someone moves too quickly through these stages, skipping important steps in the process of building genuine intimacy, it often indicates that the significance of these moments has been diluted through repetition. Like a favorite story told too many times, the emotional weight diminishes with each retelling. Pay attention to how she handles personal boundaries, both hers and yours. Women with extensive romantic experience often display a casual attitude toward intimacy that can feel refreshing at first but concerning upon closer examination. Private details are shared freely, physical boundaries dissolve quickly, and emotional walls come down with surprising speed. This isn't necessarily confidence, it's often desensitization. When intimacy becomes commonplace, the protective mechanisms that guard our most vulnerable selves begin to wear down. Notice her social ecosystem. Does she maintain numerous close relationships with former partners? Is her inner circle predominantly male? Does she have what she describes as great friends who are clearly waiting for their chance? These patterns often reveal a reliance on male attention for validation and emotional security. Each connection serves as both insurance policy and ego boost, a safety net of admiration that ensures she's never without options or affirmation. The quality of her female friendships can be particularly revealing. Women who struggle to maintain strong, authentic connections with other women often prioritize male attention in ways that undermine deeper emotional development. Female friendships require different skills: vulnerability without romance, support without transaction, honesty without manipulation. When these relationships are absent or consistently strained, it may indicate a preference for the simpler dynamics of male admiration. Watch how she manages conflict and intimacy. Does affection seem to follow patterns? Is physical or emotional closeness withheld during disagreements only to return when she wants something? This transactional approach to intimacy transforms what should be genuine connection into strategic negotiation. You may find yourself earning affection through compliance, rather than receiving it freely as an expression of mutual care. Her understanding of male psychology often feels uncanny, almost psychic in its accuracy. She knows exactly what to say to trigger your protective instincts, when to pull back to create longing, how to make you feel both needed and needed. This isn't necessarily empathy, it's often practical knowledge gained through extensive field research. Where genuine connection requires mutual vulnerability, this approach relies on applied behavioral science. Listen carefully to how she speaks about past relationships. Does every story follow a similar arc? Does she consistently portray herself as the wronged party? Are her exes universally described as flawed in ways that absolve her of responsibility? These narrative patterns often reveal an inability to learn from experience or acknowledge personal contributions to relationship dynamics. Social media behavior provides another window into her relationship with attention. Does she maintain active engagement with numerous men? Are her posts strategically crafted to elicit male response? Does she seem to require constant digital validation? This need for external affirmation often indicates an internal emptiness that no amount of attention can fill, a void that makes genuine connection impossible because the relationship becomes about filling her needs rather than building something mutual. Perhaps most importantly, observe how she handles the mundane aspects of relationship building. The initial intensity of new attraction requires different skills than the sustained work of building lasting partnership. Does she have experience navigating financial decisions together? Has she maintained long-term living arrangements with a partner? Can she handle conflict without threatening to leave? These practical competencies only develop through sustained commitment, something that serial short-term relationships cannot provide. You may notice that despite her extensive experience with relationships, she seems to lack depth in any particular area. Her knowledge is broad but shallow, familiar with the geography of romance, but ignorant of its deeper territories. She knows how to start fires but not how to tend them, how to create spark but not how to sustain light. This comprehensive pattern recognition isn't about criticizing her past, but about understanding your future. Relationships with such individuals often follow predictable trajectories: intense connection that never deepens, promises that never materialize, potential that never actualizes. You'll find yourself constantly working to prove your worth, to earn your place, to secure your position, all while sensing that you're competing with ghosts of relationships past and possibilities yet to come. The most painful realization comes when you understand that your uniqueness was never the point. The qualities you believed made you special to her were simply the current focus of a pattern that has repeated many times before. The love you thought was being built was actually being simulated. Protecting yourself begins with recognizing that potential cannot overcome pattern. Hope is not a strategy. The right woman for a serious relationship isn't necessarily someone with no past, but someone whose past has taught her how to build a future, someone who has developed the emotional skills, practical competencies, and relational wisdom that make lasting partnership possible. At Inner Empire, we believe in building relationships based on reality rather than fantasy, on patterns rather than promises, on evidence rather than hope. If you're ready to develop the discernment necessary to find genuine connection, we're here to provide the tools, insights, and support you need. The first step is recognizing the difference between performance and partnership, between someone who knows how to play the game and someone who wants to build something real with you. This is why we've created comprehensive guides that help you identify these patterns early, before you've invested months or years in connections that can't give you what you truly want. Our community of men supports each other in developing the clarity and confidence needed to navigate modern dating without losing sight of what matters most: genuine, lasting connection with someone who values you for who you are, not just for what you provide. The work begins with honest assessment. Are you seeing signs of genuine partnership potential, or are you witnessing well-rehearsed performance? Are you building something real, or are you participating in something temporary? These questions matter because your time and emotional energy are precious resources that deserve investment in relationships with real potential for mutual growth and fulfillment. Remember, the right woman will have a history that demonstrates her capacity for the kind of relationship you want to build. Her past relationships, however many or few, will show evidence of growth, learning, and increasing emotional maturity. She'll be able to speak about former partners with fairness and insight, acknowledging both their contributions to the relationship's success and her own role in its challenges. Most importantly, she'll be ready and willing to build something real with you, not just repeat patterns that have failed her in the past. Your journey toward genuine connection starts with recognizing the difference between attraction and compatibility, between chemistry and character, between performance and partnership. We're here to help you develop that discernment. Join us at Inner Empire, and let's build something real together. We understand how easy it is to get caught up in the initial excitement of meeting someone who seems perfectly attuned to your desires. The dopamine rush of feeling understood and desired can cloud even the most discerning judgment. That's why our approach at Inner Empire focuses on helping you develop the emotional intelligence and pattern recognition skills necessary to see beyond the initial presentation and assess long-term compatibility. The patterns we've discussed today aren't necessarily deal breakers on their own, but when you notice multiple signs consistently appearing, it's time to pause and reflect. Does this relationship feel like it's building toward something substantial, or does it feel like you're participating in a well-choreographed performance? Are your emotional needs being met consistently, or do you find yourself making excuses for inconsistent behavior? Healthy relationships develop organically, with both partners contributing equally to the emotional foundation. They withstand challenges because they're built on authenticity rather than illusion. The right partner won't just tell you what you want to hear, she'll show you through consistent actions that she's invested in building something real. At Inner Empire, we provide the tools and community support to help you develop this crucial discernment. Our members learn to recognize the difference between genuine connection and skilled performance, between authentic interest and strategic engagement. We help you trust your instincts when something feels off, rather than dismissing your concerns because the chemistry feels strong. The journey to finding genuine partnership begins with self-awareness and honest assessment. It requires courage to acknowledge when a connection isn't what it appears to be, and wisdom to invest your energy where it can truly grow. We're here to support you in developing that courage and wisdom. If you're ready to move beyond surface-level connections and build relationships with real depth and meaning, join our community at Inner Empire. Together, we'll help you develop the skills, awareness, and confidence needed to find and build the genuine connection you deserve. Consider how she handles the transition from initial attraction to sustained partnership. Women with extensive experience often excel at the early stages of relationships, the excitement of new connection, the thrill of discovery, the intensity of early bonding. However, when the relationship moves beyond this initial phase into the territory of building something lasting, you may notice a shift in her engagement level. The skills required for maintaining long-term connection are fundamentally different from those needed to create initial attraction. Pay attention to how she responds to the ordinary, everyday aspects of relationship building. Does she show interest in the mundane details of your life? Is she willing to navigate the less glamorous aspects of partnership, such as supporting you through difficult times, dealing with family obligations, or managing shared responsibilities? These are the moments that reveal true character and commitment, far more than the carefully curated early interactions. Notice how she discusses future plans. Women who are ready for genuine partnership will include you in their vision of the future in concrete ways. They'll talk about shared goals, make plans that extend months or years ahead, and demonstrate through their actions that they see you as part of their long-term life picture. In contrast, those with patterns of short-term connections will often keep future discussions vague or avoid them altogether, focusing instead on the present moment. Examine how she handles disagreements and conflicts. Healthy relationships require the ability to navigate differences constructively. Women with experience in lasting partnerships will have developed skills in communication, compromise, and conflict resolution. They'll approach disagreements as opportunities for understanding rather than battles to be won. Those accustomed to short-term connections may avoid conflict altogether, withdraw emotionally during disagreements, or use conflict as an excuse to exit the relationship. Consider her relationship with herself. Women who are capable of healthy partnership have typically done the work to understand themselves, their needs, and their patterns. They can articulate what they want from a relationship and what they bring to it. They have their own interests, friendships, and sources of fulfillment, outside of romantic connections. This self-awareness and independence are crucial for building balanced, mutually supportive partnerships. Watch how she handles your vulnerabilities. When you share your fears, insecurities, or challenges, does she respond with empathy and support, or does she seem uncomfortable or dismissive? The ability to hold space for another person's vulnerability is a key indicator of emotional maturity and capacity for deep connection. Women who have primarily experienced short-term relationships may struggle with this aspect of intimacy, as it requires a level of emotional investment they may not be accustomed to. Notice her consistency across different contexts. Does she show up as the same person when you're alone together, when you're with friends, when she's with her family, and when she's in professional settings? Consistency of character across different environments indicates authenticity and integrity. In contrast, those who are highly skilled at social performance may show significant variation in their personality and behavior, depending on the audience and context. Pay attention to how she speaks about commitment. Women who are ready for genuine partnership will be clear about what commitment means to them and what they're looking for in a long-term relationship. They'll be able to have open, honest conversations about expectations, boundaries, and relationship goals. Those with patterns of short-term connections may be vague or evasive when these topics arise, or they may offer idealized versions of commitment that don't match their actions. Consider her relationship with her past. Women who have done the work to learn from their relationship history will be able to speak about past experiences with insight and maturity. They'll take responsibility for their part in relationship dynamics and demonstrate how they've grown from their experiences. Those who haven't done this work may blame others for past relationship failures, repeat the same patterns without awareness, or avoid discussing their past altogether. Notice how she handles your success and achievements. A partner who is truly invested in your growth and happiness will celebrate your successes genuinely and support your ambitions. They'll see your achievements as wins for the relationship, not as threats or competitions. Women who are accustomed to being the center of attention may struggle with sharing the spotlight or supporting your independent success. Examine her relationship with gratitude and appreciation. Healthy partnerships are built on mutual appreciation and acknowledgement. Notice whether she expresses gratitude for the things you do, acknowledges your qualities and contributions, and makes you feel valued for who you are. Those who are used to receiving attention as their due may take your efforts for granted or always be looking for the next best thing. Consider how she handles stress and challenges. Life inevitably brings difficulties, and how someone handles adversity reveals their character. Women who are prepared for lasting partnership have developed resilience and coping strategies that allow them to navigate challenges without compromising the relationship. Those accustomed to short-term connections may struggle with stress, becoming distant, irritable, or looking for exits when things get difficult. Pay attention to how she invests in the relationship. Partnership requires mutual investment of time, energy, and emotional resources. Notice whether she initiates contact, makes plans, remembers important details about you, and generally demonstrates through her actions that she's invested in building something with you. Relationships where one person is doing all the work rarely last. Notice her relationship with boundaries, both hers and yours. Healthy partnerships respect individual boundaries while creating shared space. Women who are ready for genuine connection will communicate their boundaries clearly, respect yours, and understand that boundaries are about self-care rather than rejection. Those with patterns of short-term connections may have either very rigid boundaries that prevent true intimacy or very porous boundaries that lead to enmeshment. Consider her approach to personal growth. Life partners grow together over time. Notice whether she's committed to her own development, open to feedback, and willing to work on herself in the relationship. Those who are always looking for the next new thing may be seeking external solutions to internal challenges, hoping that a new relationship will solve problems that actually require personal work. At Inner Empire, we help men develop the discernment to recognize these patterns and the courage to act on what they see. We provide a supportive community where men can share experiences, gain insights, and develop the skills needed to build genuine, lasting connections. Our approach is based on the understanding that finding the right partner requires first becoming the right partner, and that both processes require self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and practical skills. If you're tired of repeating the same patterns and ready to build something real, we invite you to join us. Together, we'll help you develop the clarity, confidence, and competence needed to navigate modern dating and find the genuine connection you deserve. The journey begins with seeing things as they are, not as we wish they were, and having the courage to make choices based on that reality. Remember, you deserve a relationship built on authenticity, mutual respect, and genuine connection. Don't settle for less than your worth. At Inner Empire, we'll help you recognize the difference between performance and partnership and give you the tools to build the real thing.